Everybody, it's JaShinYa here, and on this episode, we have a very special guest. His name is Casey Tyke, a.k.a. The handsomest podcaster, also known as WizFish on YouTube. We've got a really cool new box type of shipment subscription thing, kind of like the Loot Crate. An awesome indie game for starting the riot called Always Sometimes Monsters, as well as more. Stay tuned. This is episode 4 of the Indie Game Riot. Indie Game Riot! Everybody, again, this is JaShinYa, and episode 4 kicking off. How do you guys feel today?
Feel good.
Tech?
Yeah.
Anything new with you?
Really just getting ready to go across the country to Origins. Now that most of the school's out, I have to worry about all my little cousins graduating high school and getting arrested at Beach Week.
Show them!
Remember, kids.
They're going to come back with lots of beads. That's what's important.
Just remember, kids, if you're going to Beach Week and you're going to do something bad, watch for the cops with the 38s. The cops with the 38s aren't real cops. They're called in to support the real cops. If he has an automatic pistol, like one with a magazine that loads in, he's not going to try and bust you for everything possible. He can. If he has a 38 where the rounds go into a cylinder that spins, you got to watch out for him because they're trying to get on the good side of the department.
Yeah.
The Rent-A-Cops. They're like the semi-pros.
Yeah, they're trying to get their foot in the door, and so they'll try to bust you for everything. Like, you're not wearing the right shoes, or you're out too late, or I smell alcohol.
Those nipples are too pointy.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't you come with me?
How about you, Rev? Anything going on?
Gearing up for an ultimate drunk fest tonight. I'm halfway through my hard apple cider already. And outside of that, played some cool games this week, and one of which we'll be talking about today. And other than that, I can't walk. Last week, I crippled myself fighting people. So that was
fantastic.
That was pretty much it.
I'm glad you're paralyzed. That's fun.
Yeah.
No, I screwed up my knee really hardcore. So.
Your legs like bent the other way.
Pretty much. Like, I've spent the entire week laying on this sofa and
you're watching like a bird. Like, no, it's fine. It's fine. This is how I usually walk. It's fine, guys. It's fine.
Stairs.
No, I don't notice anything different.
Have you noticed I've got more spring in my step?
It's the other one that hurts. It's the other one that hurts. I swear.
What's new with
was that?
What's new with you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna go last because I figured we'd
guest.
let our very special guest, Casey.
What's up?
Yeah.
Was that my intro? Did you really just botch that up that bad?
Yep.
What?
Wow.
Special.
All right. Good to be here. I would like to point out that I am a former Rent-A-Cop, and my nipples are entirely too pointy right now. So I am good to go. Yeah. Good to be here.
What do you do when you're not joining us for Indie Game Riot career?
Oh man. Well, see, it's a long tail. That's a very short tail. That part. That's a little part of the story. But essentially, I come from a podcasty sort of nerd background. I did a lot of work with Try-On Worlds. They made Rift and Defiance, and they're coming out with new stuff now, and it's all probably very, very bad because they suck now. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, I dabbled in the game industry, and it felt good. And I'm here now. I don't do much. I do Let's Plays and some like reviews and things like that. I do a lot of videos with Josh, both game-related and otherwise.
Well, that's the only way to get famous nowadays. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you gotta have those nips.
Games.
But yeah, no, I'm just happy to be here. Good to be here. I haven't been on a podcast in a while, so
Feels good, I bet.
yeah.
As for myself, I got a new job. I'm not going into details, but that's what are you laughing at?
Because I know why you're not going into details.
Because I ain't ashamed. You.
Beep.
I'm proud.
Yeah, really.
I'm proud.
Good
Congratulations.
job, buddy.
Hey, I got to support a family, man. I can't live off of peanuts. I can't live off of podcast peanuts for the rest of my days. So the rest.
Podcast tokens. All right.
If
So
you'd like to donate to
If
Indie
you
Game
listeners
Riot,
out there, yeah. Hey, you never know.
yeah, really.
I was just enjoying how incredibly white all of us sound.
Well, guys, welcome to the
Like, I
podcast.
understand that my second pocket protector is there to actually like protect the first pocket protector, because the first pocket protector is my signed James T. Kirk pocket protector that he wore on the episode where he went back in the time.
Some random,
Where the is my fanny pack? This
Yeah.
anywhere.
some random jocks just walking by your windows, like, what the hell?
Oh god.
I just heard a pocket protector.
Yeah.
Kind of want to say bad words just to make more work for you, Josh.
No, you just have to start bleeping random words that he says without them having to be bad, and just let the audience guess.
unnecessary censorship. Always fun.
Seriously, congratulations on your job. I know you can't survive off of podcast tokens. I'm calling them tokens because I don't like peanuts.
Oh, I
Go
like peanuts. They're good.
Okay.
Nobody likes roasted nuts, guys.
And lastly, I wanted to say thank you to the people who are listening. They've been sending us messages and such, and being totally unprepared. Where the hell did I get that? There it is. Also, most recently from, I'm just going to call this person Zorkling because that's what's in her email. I don't really know if that's what they call themselves, but that's what I'm going to call them. I don't know, man or woman.
That's what they put on their job application. Zorkling.
Professional Zorkling. They sent a message, loving the podcast so far. I'm not sure if Octodad Dadliest Catch is too well known for you guys or for what you guys are going for, but I think you guys would have a blast playing it, and I'd love to hear what you think about it. So thank you for sending us that message and the kind words. And that's not the only person who sent a message, just the most recent. And as far as the Octodad game, we're definitely we're looking at. I mean, I've seen it played and I know what it is. It's an indie game, so no, it's not too big for what we're doing. And we'll think about doing it on a future episode. This episode, though, we kind of have some obligations to some devs who kindly provided us with their codes for the game. So I don't want to like skip over them on their week that they have to release.
They paid you off, basically.
Well, no. Actually, I was going to say,
Just
make sure that none of these devs have paid us for these reviews and us talking about these games. These are games that were sent to us so that we could play them in hopes that we like them. And I think we like them.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Well, that's why we're putting them on the show.
Don't want to spoil the rest of the episode, everybody. But.
No.
Yeah, no, I will say I don't do the whole bribery thing unless it's in beer, and like my reviews are my reviews.
Well, just because people send us codes doesn't mean that we're going to put it on the show. We put them on the show because they're good, and that's what we want this reputation to be, is that these games are worth playing.
Yeah,
And speaking of the rest of the show, I think it's time to move on to the Indie News Injection.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an Indie News Injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
Hey guys, start off today on the Indie News Injection. We are going to talk about a technology that is no longer technically indie, but kind of has its roots in that. And the whole reason we're talking about this is because it kind of affects a lot of developers in the indie environment. For those of you that haven't followed the news or don't read Reddit or anything else like that, Oculus Rift is being sued over their intellectual property / technology / code. So the gist of it is Zenimax Media currently owns id Software. And when the Oculus was first being developed, they got crowdfunded, etc., and they went Palmer Luckey or Lukey. I'm not sure how to exactly pronounce his last name.
It looks like Lucky.
Yeah, Lucky. I'm feeling lucky about Lucky.
Aha!
He approached John Carmack, one of the guys that created Doom, You might have heard of that game. He approached him and said, "Hey, I need some help with this." And he worked with him to the side, did some code work for him, helped him bring it out to the level that it was able to get kickstarted. Then they got bought by Facebook for like $2 billion. Well, really, it was like 500,000, and then like the rest of its stocks and all of that fun stuff. And now Zenimax is saying, "Screw you, no. We own a large part of that. You were using our intellectual property. You were using our code, etc. And oh yeah, Carmack stole a bunch of people from id."
Are these developers like contractually bound to not work on anything outside of that company? Is that what it is?
No, they're more bound to basically anything that they do work on is the property of their employer. They have agreements like that. I believe that's actually in the article.
It's actually fairly common, especially in the IT world. I have to sign basically the same thing for my last job. Anything that I coded up while working for a data center company technically belongs to them. Now, my company was really cool about it and said, no, if it's something that anybody could come up with, or, it's something that's universally useful, we don't care. But if it's something that's stuck to our proprietary systems, then, that needs to stay within us. If you work on it outside of your own, you can more than welcome to OSS it. So it's fairly common to have that kind of deal in there. However, Zenimax hasn't done shit with virtual reality, and that's kind of what Oculus Rift is. It's not like Oculus Rift is a game itself.
But right. I mean, like, this guy, did he... First of all, I would assume because he's in the industry, he would know about this, but just for, discussion's sake, like, what if he... didn't, like, what if he was like, "Hey man, you're my friend, you want to help me?" And like it wasn't even like a thing, you know what I mean? He's like,
that was a question I was asking. And then what if the guy who he handed some information to was like, "Oh, hold on, I know a guy who's really good at this, let me ask him a question." And all of a sudden all these people are pitching in on this kid's science project, big quotes. And then if he decides to sell that technology, that is a technology that was developed on company time. Within the company.
I have a question. If you guys can like answer this for me or whatever, that'd be great. I'm just going to use terms like Zenimax and Oculus just to make it simple, so we don't have to use people's individual names.
Gotcha.
So is there actually an existing sort of contract or agreement between the two? I wasn't clear on that. I know that Zenimax, that's the Palmer guy, and
there is
not Palmer guy. It's the Doom guy. My bad.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have like a contract with Oculus to help him or to consult with him, right? It's all just kind of
off to the side.
It's very like apprenticey, mentory kind of. Hey, can you help me?
Not anymore. Not anymore. He left id Software and is currently the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer for Oculus VR, the company that makes Oculus Rift.
So what they're saying is that before he did that, he was still working with id. So any code during that time is theirs?
They're saying during the time, as well as the fact that when he left, he was working with this. I guess Zenimax did kind of help out a little bit with the integration between the systems. But according to John Carmack, and I'm going to kind of trust him because, he was the one that would know whether or not he was breaking his contracts. Nothing that he said that there's absolutely nothing that he did that was patented to Zenimax. In fact, he's on record as saying, "No work that I've ever done has been patented. Zenimax may own the code that I wrote, but they don't own virtual reality." And so it's basically, it's setting it very solidly apart. And the part that kind of twicks me on this is the fact that they waited.
I was just about to bring that up.
Same.
Like, why did it take so long, for them to even say something?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And they didn't bring it up then. They waited until there was a $2 billion sale on there.
Of course.
Then they went for it. And I don't think that's going to work out so well for them in the long term.
Because Facebook lawyers are the lawyers that win cases.
Exactly.
That's just...
Yeah. Well, what about this? Like, do you think that what I think my prediction is, let me know what you guys think about it. My prediction is that they're even though they waited, it's a dick move. But I mean, to be honest, the justice system doesn't give a crap about dick moves. They care about technicalities.
Right, exactly.
So I think that they are going to win some money for that beginning segment. Do you guys think that'll happen?
It's going to be settled outside of court.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Honestly, I think we're gonna hear little bits and pieces over the next 3 years, and then we're gonna find out that they settled out of court. And it's I don't know. There's not many things piss me off the way corporate bickering pisses me off, and this is exactly what it is. And I don't know.
Well, I
It's
guess
really funny that
It really sounds like id and Zenimax were pissed off that they lost Carmack. Because I mean, he's kind of a big deal in the game industry.
Yeah, exactly.
And having one of the longest people in the gaming industry leave your company to go work for this awesome new technology, I can be kind of as well.
Especially, I mean, why not? Especially where that was going. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't understand why that company all of a sudden didn't shift and try to create a business connection with this. It's like, oh, we have somebody who worked for our company working on, the fastest growing, most popular virtual reality interface in the world. Let's see if we can't build things for this, get really nice sponsorships going, and push everything forward instead of being like, hey, we're gonna piss everybody off because 2 weeks, 2 months ago, everyone was like angry at
Facebook
and Facebook and Oculus, and it's like, oh, the Oculus is the crappiest thing ever. And now that they're being ganged up on, there's still the small kid on the playground.
I mean, if this was that important to them, why didn't they make a move like Facebook did? I mean, they could have bought it. Or not as much as Facebook, but they could have made an offer first before Facebook was even.
It's possible they did. It's possible they did, and we just never heard about it because people don't tend to release. Hey, we put in a bid for $600 million. They tend to not broadcast when they lose a bid on something.
True. Mm-hmm. Well, I think in the end, Facebook has the money. Like if they are going to settle out of court, Facebook has the money to not give a crap. So
yeah,
that's really what's going to happen.
Now, before we move on this, I know we've been talking about it for a while, but I do think it's interesting that there's another part of it. Zenimax has this agreement with Carmack about employees and them being hired. There's a not a trial period, but almost like a grace period after an employee leaves Zenimax where they cannot be hired by Carmack. Yeah, to non-competes. And then this random people throughout the office at Zenimax are just kind of quitting, and even some of them they won't even say or sign something to the effect that says, yeah, we're not going to go work for a competitor. Sorry. Well, and basically Carmack is hiring them, and that is against a contract that he did sign. And so I don't know.
At the same time though, the non-competes are really, really, this is from personal experience, the non-compete clauses are really, really hard to enforce court-wise, because basically in order for somebody to get behind a non-compete like that, the company that's losing them basically has to show that they are the person leaving is completely capable of making as good, if not better, of a living doing something completely outside of the field that doesn't compete with them. So it's really hard to get a non-compete clause to hold up in court.
Seems like there's just a lot of loopholes involved with it.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, you've got a game developer and a hardware developer. There's not a lot of competition there.
Right.
Like the fact
they're
that they're
completely different markets.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that would, if anybody did get up onto that would be the bent that I would expect their case to take.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, someone's echoing me.
You are echoing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You bastard. Anyway, with that said, we have another news story that's more indie game related. This was like an overarching type of thing, if kind of trickled down into the indie game community. But this is really cool. Those of you who know about Loot Crate, which is one of the more popular subscription boxes, like it's a mystery box that you can get every month for $15 per month. There is a new box coming out, not by the same company, but it's called Indie Box. Basically, they are creating
Can you
a
guess
box.
what that is?
Yeah, it's an independent box, and that's all it is. And basically, this company has a goal to support indie games because they don't like to see the indie devs, because there's a quote in there saying that basically indie devs make a lot of their sales during like humble bundles or when there's like a drastic drop in their price, and they want to make it a point where they can pick out a really good indie game. They have an example here of the indie game Teslagrad, or Teslagrad, or whatever you want to pronounce it, and basically give a physical copy to the people who subscribe, as well as some other really cool stuff like some art, stickers, buttons, things like that.
So it's basically a limited edition, or the legendary edition for AAA games.
That's what. Yeah, this is that's what it is. It's a limited edition physical copy of this indie game. So it's a $15 a month service, and half of the profit after the overhead gets taken out, half of the profit goes to the indie game developer. So it's supporting them a lot, and it's really giving really cool stuff to indie game fans. You never know what game you're going to get, so you don't know. Someone like Rev, who doesn't really like horror games, might get a horror game. But for those of you who who like just gaming in general, indie games specifically, it's really cool, and it's pretty exciting to get just something. If a physical copy is it's really cool to have, and just have on your shelf. Just like the people that buy the figurines out, like you said, out of like the legendary packs or something like that.
I think this would also be really good, especially if you're a very avid gamer. Even if you've played the game, all of a sudden you have a hard copy of it and all this extra stuff, and you get to play the game that you love. And if it's a game that you've never played before, it puts it in your lap right in front of you. And I see very few downsides to this, other than the fact that it is $15 a month. It's
plus shipping.
But I mean that's really not a lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot. The size that it looks like it's about the size of a VHS tape.
And this is a company too they have less than 1,000 subscribers at this point anyway. I mean, they've gotten a lot of publicity since this article came out, but they're basically a garage company. They're working out of
it looks like
yeah. There's a couple of things I find really interesting about this. One is the price point, $15 a month. That's not a lot. A lot of people can afford it. But like what they said about the games, how they're always like kind of spiked. Their sales are always spiked during sale events where they're like drastically reduced. But they're splitting this $15 a month with the developers and themselves, and they both need the money. Like, this company is tiny. They're making these limited edition boxes by hand in their garage, literally. Mm-hmm. And they're like contracting out artists to make the cover art. Like, they need that money. And what's cool about it is if you split that $15 even down the middle, you have they're still making more than that $1 to $3 that they would be making, on that sale spike that they usually get. So it's still like a big profit for them. Yeah. If for the developers and for this company. Yeah
exactly. I think it's really cool, and if they can get it like working, and it says here that it takes them about 12 hours to get 250 boxes done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally two guys in a garage.
Right. And they're saying that they probably won't be able to make it an automated process until they're at least at 1,000 subscribers a month. Which actually, to me, it doesn't seem like that much, with the amount of people that I think would buy it. And that's another thing Casey brought up, is that they outsource these really talented artists to make the cover art for these boxes. And it's really cool. And they outsource to a specific one if the indie dev doesn't have a preference, but they also allow the indie devs to choose an artist. Like if they have an artist on their team, to make the indie box too. So you're getting like an individual, exclusive piece of art for these games.
Think about it from the artist perspective too. How badass is that as an artist who loves games to have the opportunity to sit down and make a cover for a freaking game? That's just a cool opportunity. I know that's not really related, but
no, it kind of is.
I was thinking that. I think that's really cool because the show's all about indie games, but it's like an indie game consists of coders, writers, musicians, artists. Exactly. So I think it's just good overall.
I did want to add on this. I do like the requirements. That
I was just about to go into that actually.
Go for it.
Yeah, in order for an indie game to be included in this, so they're not, just so you know, they're not just throwing crap in willy nilly. It has to have a 7.5 out of 8. 7. What is it?
7.5 out of 8.0.
It's strangely written, but anyway, 7.5 out of 8 points or better.
75 out of 100 on Steam or 8.0.
Oh, that makes more sense. It's a strangely written thing. 75 out of 100 or an 8 out of 10. 75 out of 100 on Steam or an 8 out of 10 on IndieDB for this to be included in for games.
Also, it has to be atheistic when it comes to operating system.
Yeah, it has to be pretty compatible with everything.
Which I know Rev loves.
The last 6 months.
Rev loves because he like has a thing against people that don't make things for Linux.
Yes, if you don't make your game for Linux, I hate you. Not really, but like it's really close. It's hard for me to get behind somebody that doesn't make something available on Linux.
So I think it's a tremendous boon to indie game devs, and I think not only should, if you have the money out there, your listeners, should you do that to support the indie devs, these people that are trying to support the indie devs also deserve the money. They're putting a lot of work into this for something really cool. So $15 a month plus shipping and handling, not too much if you have a little extra scratch.
Yep. Look at them. They're doing their part to enable the
evolution. Hey, that's Rev's job.
Going from games that you don't expect to get to games that you're being bribed with the game.
Oh, nice segue. Yeah, man.
Whoosh. There
has been some news has come out about a man who tried to get his 2012 released Pop Methodology Experiment 1 through Steam Greenlight by offering it for free to people who voted for it. And this is it's weird.
I don't think it's weird. I don't
think it's even a problem, honestly.
Well, I mean,
really?
Yeah, I don't. It's like a free sample thing when you walk into a grocery store. I mean, I know you're not getting a sample, you're getting the whole thing, but when you're talking about an indie game, like, I don't know what this game is. I haven't even seen a single thing about it, honestly, but it can't be that
I would say big. That, I mean, the game was free, it seems, and I know that the guy wanted it to show up. Basically, what he's saying is that the reason why he wanted it to go onto Steam Greenlight is so that it could reach a wider audience. He wasn't trying. Of course. But I mean, and I'm trying to wonder like how he did it, because it doesn't really go.
Well, I clicked on the link to get it because I figured, hey, free game. And actually, there's no more codes left. It's sold out within, not sold out, but you know what I mean. Like the codes were out by the time, within a day of this article.
Excuse me. I'm surprised that he didn't set it up like, and I don't know if this would be like pushing Steam's the terms of service where, it's on the site. It's like, hey, vote for us on Steam Greenlight. Click over to Steam Greenlight, redirects to Steam Greenlight, hits like, checks if you got redirected, redirects you to another page, and opens up another thing for a download.
I see what you're saying. Like, I think it is manipulative of Steam's system, but I don't think that's his fault.
No, I don't think it's his fault.
And I think it could hurt Greenlight, which they're going to eventually take out anyway, according to Steam. But I don't blame him for doing it because, I mean,
really,
he's giving it. Yeah,
I have a hard time getting upset with the guy for basically doing the same thing that Kickstarters do for the people that support them.
Yeah,
no. If you throw money at a Kickstarter, that's like one of the first things you get is like, oh, you get the free game and have a freaking T-shirt and la la la, have a have a credit in our credits and la la, Like this is like a very friendly version of that.
Here's my argument against that. On the one hand, you have Kickstarter, okay? Which, thank you for bringing up. That does bring a valid point to this. On the one hand, nobody just gives the game. If I go into Kickstarter and donate $1, I'm not getting a copy of the game. if I go to Kickstarter and click, yes, I like the idea of this, and share it on Facebook and somebody else donates, I'm not getting a copy of the game. He's basically saying, hey, I've made this game, and if it doesn't make it popular enough, then whatever. But I want you to go out and I'm going to manipulate this system and give you a free copy of the game just to vote for me so that I can get published on Steam.
His thought process of it is that instead of email blasting and tweeting, like just spamming people's Twitter accounts and stuff like that.
You mean other than doing marketing?
Yeah. Well, basically, but he's saying like that kind of marketing. He, in his words, makes him feel nauseous. Like he doesn't like it. So he thinks
sleazy.
that
it is sleazy.
He thinks that this, he calls it a bribery scheme. But he says it makes everyone. He thinks it makes everyone feel less horrible about it. And
I feel much more horrible about it.
I actually see, Rev. Just so you understand, I'm not against you on this one because
you're playing devil's advocate.
Kind of, but here's here's me sort of also explaining another side of your argument is that Steam Greenlight isn't there to get games on Steam. Steam Greenlight is there so that people who have made games can show people who may want to play it to be able to play it on Steam.
Right.
It's not like a developer's publishing house. It's a people's voting for games they want. And
it's not hurting anyone either. I mean, it is manipulating the system, but like we discussed in the last episode, gamers should be doing their due diligence. First of all, they're getting the game. These people got the game for free, so nothing is lost. You know, they're getting this game. If they don't like it, they don't like it.
What about the next person that comes around and
they need to do their due diligence. They need to see it. Okay, this got greenlit. We all know that not all greenlit games are good. We all know that. And so do your research into it and see if it's your kind of game. Ask around, look for gameplay videos. I'm sure there's plenty of people who got it for free. If you look at it that way, people who got it for free, they could be putting videos up on it. So that makes it even more easier for people to look for gameplay videos and see if they actually will like it.
But at the same time, why didn't he contact a news agency like us or like or Game of Sutra? Hey, come on, we're basically indie news.
We kind of did
correspondents at this point.
Well, no, he sent out an email. He sent out an email to everybody and said, "Hey, if you click like on my Facebook page, I'll give you a copy of my game." That's what this boils down to.
Yeah,
what's happening? We're talking about it.
Yep.
It worked. His game could be a piece of crap. I don't even know. But and who cares if those people got a free game for voting for a piece of crap game?
No, I don't care whether or not they got a copy of the game. What I care about is the ethical quandary that this puts me in. Because I'm against sleaze. I'm very much against sleaze. I have quit multiple jobs because of sleaze. Exactly.
And you're a man.
I do see where you're coming from. I honestly do. But like the truth is, this guy he pulled some strings, made some crazy manipulations happen, and some people did it. And either they wound up with like a free good game or a free bad game. And if they wound up with a free bad game, damn straight they're gonna be on greenlight, even if it gets greenlit, and they're gonna be like, this game sucks.
I think it's kudos to him. I good on him for doing what he needed to do.
It's a bit of both. It's like a shame on you, but damn it, you did it.
I'll give him props for having an inventive way to fight the system.
I'll tell you what. If I had the chance to make this show, for instance, you know, I don't know why, because the show's free anyway, but you know what I mean. If I had a chance to, without spamming the hell out of people, to just be like, to find some way to be like, click on this, I'll give you
a free episode.
Click on this, I'll give you a kiss, and then you get this.
Yeah, I can understand, but see, that's our own system. Whereas this guy used somebody else's, in this case, Steam system.
If I had a podcast greenlight, I would have been like all over that.
That's true. But would we have given people free to like? Oh, damn it! I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Rev. It's putting me. It's.
Am I like? See what I'm saying?
For those listening on YouTube, leave a comment down below as to what you think. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Tell us about it.
This is the first time that we've all been very split about this. It's interesting.
It's kind of cool.
I don't find myself split. Like, I'm not on this guy's side.
No, I mean, like, between us, we're split.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that. I'm not part of the group. I'm just saying.
No, counting on yours.
My tears are falling. It's like a wet t-shirt contest over here.
Well, does anyone else have anything to say about this? Because I think you're right, Tekino. We'll leave it to the people in the comments or
let's
Reddit
hit us up. Hit us up in the comments. Tell us what you think. Like, do you side with me? Is this kind of scummy, sleazy, or do you think that it's an inventive new way to? I can't even come up with a positive way to say it, so I'm going to let Josh do.
It's not even an inventive new way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll leave it to discussion for the listeners, and maybe we'll revisit it sometime.
Yeah.
But.
I'm really sad because I had something to say about this, and I don't
go
know
ahead.
what it is. No, I don't even remember. Like, I've just been listening to you guys like go wham, bam, bam, back and forth, and it's been like a skin flick on Zenimax, and it's just way too like intense, and I don't know what to do with myself, and I lost my very good thought, and it was a good one.
In your head, you're like,
Yeah, seriously. But you know what? Maybe you can have me out. We can revisit this again some other day, maybe.
Yeah.
This is why I keep a notepad open while we're recording, so I can take notes. It's like, oh, I have a comeback to that.
Oh man, I'll probably think of it at the end. Like, I'll let you know.
At the end of the show. Oh, by the way, yeah. But anyway,
3 days later in the shower. Oh crap! I remember it now.
I think our riot is a good transition
We're gonna interrupt our current riot.
into
starting the riot.
Yeah, starting the riot. What you said. And for starting the riot, we have an awesome game made by a dev called Vagabond Dog. They were kind enough to send me a code for this, so I was the only one to play this. But they just recently came out on Steam a couple days ago, which would be at the time of this recording, the 21st. And basically, it's a pixelated, like you guys ever see those like RPG Maker type games?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks a lot like one of those types of games, but the really cool thing about this is it's not the traditional kind of game. Oh, by the way, it's called Always Sometimes Monsters. I should probably...
It's such a good name, too. Especially when you know what the game's about, like that.
Yeah.
It's a really witty title. I like that.
It is. It's really cool. And the whole game is about the choices that you make in your life. And I gotta say, actually, from when I started playing, I haven't played through the whole game yet, because I have only gotten to play some of it. But it threw me off in the beginning. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Because I thought from everything that was told to me, I thought it was like open-ended and everything like that. But when you start the game, you have a choice to make. You can like shoot this person, or you can let them talk. And just to boil it down to that. And
that's the opening sequence, like murder somebody or let them talk.
Right. That literally is the opening sequence. I mean, there's more story to it, but that is literally the opening sequence. And I was like, I don't want to hear this guy talk, because he also has a gun. The guy that wants to talk to you. And I'm like, I don't want to hear this guy talk. He has a gun to my face, so I shot him, and it was like game over. I'm like, what? Like, what? And so I'm like, so it's really not like open ended. It's pretty linear if it's gonna force me to let him talk to me. But it turns out what that opening sequence was, it was just a precursor. It was just to open the story to the actual gameplay. So there was that, and then what happens is you actually start off at this party, and you actually, as this specific person that's actually not a main character in the game, you get to go around and talk to these people at this party, and you can choose one of these people at that party who will eventually become the main character in this party. Yeah, out of all these people at the party, you talk to them, and then you pick the one that you want. You don't know this when you first start, because when you first start, there's literally nothing that tells you what to do. There's not even a
Indie Game Riot, ruining games for the whole world.
Yeah.
Since 2014.
I'm kind of late. Spoiler alert.
No, there's no spoilers.
This is like a gameplay mechanic, not.
Yeah. No, I'm not spoiling.
But I'm giving you a hard time.
It's there's nothing that tells you what to do. There's no key mapping or anything like that. So I was like, what the hell is happening right now? And it's very simplistic. There's like literally three, like the arrow keys and the enter key, and I use the zero key. It's like a delete button or a back button or something. And it's a little weird, but once you get used to it, and once you start wrapping your mind around the game, and what it's attempting to let you do, instead of thinking more like along the lines of like, okay, I got to explore everything, you understand that everything you do in the game is going to affect the future of what happens in the game. Like, you don't have second chances in this. You don't. Once you make a choice, you're done. There is no going back. So you have to understand that as you're playing the game, or else you're going to be like, well, I didn't get a chance to explore everything I wanted to explore. Like, well, that's not how life works all the time, motherfucker. So that's really, that's really how it works.
Now, here's my question about this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's real life.
Well, it's
kind of. You know, it's a game, but it's kind of about real life. Is it fun to play real life?
I think this is incredibly fun, especially the narrative in itself. I mean,
really?
I don't think it's for everyone. I mean, there are people out there who are like, I don't get to shoot anyone. Like, it's not Call of Duty.
I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. Like, the game looks really cool, but it also looks dark, and it also feels like it would like play on the parts of my brain that I don't want to like have to deal with.
I think it's kind of supposed to. Like,
I know, but it's like, but that's just
this is
sort of
supposed
me. It's
to
just
reflect
like I
you
don't,
as a person.
I don't
As
want
long
to
as you're
like
being honest.
feel these things. Game, why are you making me feel these?
I love
things?
games that like I don't know. I personally I wouldn't think this game is considered fun, and I haven't played it, but I wouldn't even want it to be fun per se. Like, I play a game like this to feel something. And I know like there's a lot of gamers that aren't into that. They just want to shoot people in the face and look at boobies and butts and like jump off of hilltops or whatever the hell. But like a game like this, I could really get into because like I'm a really dark kind of macabre kind of dude, and this is right down my alley. There's an article on Polygon about this game. I don't know if you guys saw this. This wasn't in the show notes, but I'm gonna give it to you guys, and you can do what you want with it. Maybe throw it into the description of the video or whatever. But it's really cool. It talks about the origins of this game and how this guy, the developer, like the main guy behind it, how he kind of decided to make the game, and like it ties into his like real life really well. He has like a bunch of craziness. It's a long article, but it's a good one. And I don't know, I recommend it. It made me want to play the game, just this article.
This is definitely a game that's obviously the dev is extremely connected to it, and what's the word I'm trying to think of? Enveloped? I don't know. This game is part of that dev and vice versa.
Okay.
But they do a great job of also making it a part of you because of all the choices that you make. This game is made to reflect the kind of person that you are. I mean, obviously not with 100% accuracy. It's a game. It's limited.
Yeah.
But
Right.
but I mean, the choices that you make are, as long as you're honest with yourself.
That's
You know,
really cool.
It's this is the kind of thing that you can see yourself if you were put into this situation as the character at the beginning of the game. What kind of path you would end up taking if this happened to you in real life? It's kind of cool, and this just the story along the way is really amazing. It's really has like I haven't even gotten that far into it. But there's some really touching parts that, I mean, based on the choices that I've made anyway, I'm such a good person.
Yeah, such a good
Like
person.
the Paragon.
Shoot the guy who wants to tell me something in the first screen. I don't want to hear him yap all the whole game.
Well, see, it wasn't because of what I didn't want to hear him talk. It's because he had a gun pointing at my face.
Yeah,
Josh is just he's like his trigger finger's just way too nervous. He can't handle that.
Paragon, blow the guy away.
Yeah. I've got another question.
Mhm.
So you're talking about how it's like, if you make choices the way you want to make them, does this game do a good job of like easing you into like sort of turning off that whole idea of, oh, this is a game, oh, I'm playing a game, oh, I want the good ending, I want to do
Very
all good
meta.
things?
No, you're not thinking about it right. Oh, I want the good
Okay.
ending.
Well, no,
It's not-
does the game like sort of hide that from you? Like, is it actually showing you directions that you would actually go,
No.
or while
This
you're
is-
playing the game, you actually turn that part off in your head?
No, literally, like, other than a few, like, cutscenes, not cutscenes, but they're, like, like, scripted interactions that you can't get past. Other than a few of those so far, it's very, like, okay, it's, in your life, you don't have someone telling you what to do, except for,
Oh, that's crazy.
you know what I mean? But, like, you go walking
Yeah.
down the street, it's your choice where you're going to go. It's the same thing. So like, for instance, without spoiling anything, I'm in an apartment, and there's a couple people I end up having to talk to within that apartment building. But as soon as I leave that apartment building, I have a choice. I can go anywhere within the game confines of the city that he's in, anywhere that I want, and talk to anybody. I can skip anything. I can talk to anyone. And there's a time. There's like kind of a timer type of thing. So as you're doing things,
As in a countdown timer, or
No,
it
like
counts up?
there's like a morning, there's a midday,
okay.
and then there's a night, and there's like you have like a time. It's like a wristwatch type of thing.
Gotcha.
You know, as you're doing things, you have a limited amount of time in a day to do things. And that also, again, with the choices that you affect, like one of the choices was, okay, I told this, I have 3 things to do. I need to go help my friend with something. I have to help this old lady, or and then I can also go and like work at some like freelance job type thing. So I was only able to do 2 of them because I only have so much time in a day. So what does the thing that I skip, you know, what does that entail? How is that going to affect my future?
I hope you skipped the old lady. I hope you skipped the old lady, because that hoe did not need your help to begin with.
Oh my god.
Just crossing.
Yeah.
I could not play this game.
Yeah, it's really
So
so far.
Not saying it's bad, but
Can I say something about the game?
No.
Real quick?
no.
No.
Not
Okay.
allowed.
No, I like everything I've read about the game. Like I've heard you guys I've been kind of listening. You've been talking about like the good ending, you know, whatever. And I'm sure you were kind of being like silly about that. But
Right.
he makes a point, actually in that article I mentioned, where he's talking about like usually when you have choices in a game, it's kind of very in your face and kind of dramatic, and like it's like shoot the guy in the face or let the guy live. You know, it's like it's very clear good evil choices. And he said that he made like a point in this game to make it like almost painfully
Less
realistic
binary.
in that way.
Yeah.
So that it's not so exactly, less binary. It's not that black and white. And
It's very
like,
subtle too, the things.
right. You
Yeah.
can't just like start the game and be like, oh, I'm gonna be a dick. Like it's not gonna work that way. You
Like,
can't
it's-
just play through the game and just like end up with some dickhead like ending at the end. It's not like how it works.
And that's what I was saying is like a lot of people go into, and I went into this thinking that sort of thing, like, okay, there are like different paths I have to take. I'm going to explore as much as I can. It doesn't give you that opportunity, and there's a reason for it, just like you said. And it seems like it's very mundane, the choices and the things that you have to do.
Uh-huh.
But the subtlety of it is where it's really interesting, because these subtle things, you don't think about it, but these subtle things that you do, the choices that you make that don't seem very significant, really change a lot down the road.
So choosing to skip breakfast one morning means
Exactly.
something else. Okay.
So, like, for instance, to give you like kind of a train, like a
A
train.
non-spoiler one.
Yeah, well, this is just an example I can think of. Like, it's not something I've experienced, but like for instance, with your example, skip breakfast. Okay, well, I skip breakfast. I'm kind of in a rush to go to my job. Okay, I go to my job, and then you know, I need to go to work, but I'm really hungry, so I'm going to go and grab a snack. But then that makes me late for work. You know, it's just kind of like a domino effect.
Gotcha.
It's like the movie The Butterfly Effect. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
kind of
God.
like that. Except
It was
you're
such
not.
a bad movie, but
So-
okay. So you definitely would recommend this game.
Absolutely, so far. I mean, like I said, I haven't gotten far into it, but it's not any other kind of game I've played.
Is it a horror game?
No, not.
'Cause that's the gist. I
That's all I care about. Is it a horror game?
have to ask, because based on the title and
yeah.
Always, sometimes monsters, like Casey said, it is. It's very witty. It's a
Title.
witty reference to what the game is, and
okay,
it's about
your humanity, really. Like,
yeah, it's about
Yeah.
people. You know, people are always, and sometimes monsters. Like sometimes you're doing good
Oh,
things.
definitely.
You know what I mean? It's very.
you
very
have your Gandhi and you have your Hitlers and you
Right.
have everybody
Right.
in between on the morality scale.
Right, it's very deep.
All it took for me was to watch the little trailer on their website, like just to watch that, and I immediately understood the title. I immediately understood the gist of the game, and I don't know, if you haven't seen it, go check that out, because that was like, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I want to play it now.
Absolutely. And,
Link
and
in the
if,
description.
if you guys want to do a review of it, these guys are very, anyone out there listening too, they're very open to giving review codes. That's how I got mine. I asked them for it, and they were just like, yeah, sure, man. You know, as long as all they ask is that you tweet at them or something with your review,
With a link to the review.
and so they can watch it and appreciate it. That's all.
Does this count as your review, Josh?
Yeah, that's why I got the code. I thought about doing a let's play of it too, and I still might, because I haven't gotten that far into it.
Yeah.
But
That
this
just sounds
is
so
mostly for this.
stressful.
It really is some of the decisions that you can make, because you're like, oh my god, how's this gonna
Yeah.
play out down the road? But any other questions or words about this?
I think
It sounds
we covered it pretty
fantastic.
well.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, you know what else is fantastic?
Strippers.
Close enough. Peep Show.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
Okay, so, Peep Show, we've got Stranded. Now, this game really kind of confused me at the beginning. I got a review code in my email, and I was asleep still. My eyes were barely open. I didn't have my contacts in, and it looked like they had an Android image in the email with the review code, so I was like, oh, awesome, somebody sent me a Android thing, so I'm trying to plug it into my Galaxy Tab 2, and then later on into my phone, and Google Play was like, no, you're retarded, so...
Google Play is like, you're technologically incompetent.
Exactly. And then I put two and two together because, Josh had mentioned that, hey, we signed up for review codes due to our podcast that is amazing, and that was oh yeah. So this game, it was really intriguing. It's done by Peter Moorehead and co. I say and co because his name is the primary name on that. It seems to be that was the developed team name that he was going under, but he had a team behind him.
His friend is named Co. It's just
and
like David Allen Coe. Is that his name?
Edgar Allan Coe.
And Lauber Kataki and Joe Edwards and Stephen Velma. And they put together a really nice game. Now, this game is currently available on Steam. It was officially released on the 20th. So I do apologize for those of you that were looking forward to this beforehand. We're running a little bit behind. But the game is a point-and-click adventure. Not quite to the same level that you would assume it would be based on your experiences with such awesome games as Monkey Island and
Space Quest.
Space Quest, yeah.
I've never played Monkey Island. I want to.
I haven't either, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not an indie, but what?
It kind of is, but he's pretty big, so whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stranded's really... It's kind of a simplistic game. It is currently $6 on Steam. The soundtrack is separate and sells for $7.99. And I will be absolutely 100% honest. If given a choice between only buying one or the other, I would honestly take the soundtrack.
So good job.
It's actually $7.19 on Steam right now, and it's like a 20-minute long game.
It is. I've played through it completely twice, and my current playtime is at 40 minutes, give or take. It's fairly simplistic. There's no puzzles. There's no inventory. There's no riddles. There's none of that. You're literally, you wake up and you're exploring. And
Let's just put it this way: it's like a desktop background, and you get to move around it.
That's actually a really good way of putting it. Yeah,
but it looks fun as hell. So I mean,
it's really
problem with the desktop background.
No, like I'm not knocking the game. Like, it was very simplistic in terms of its mechanics. You have click and move, and that's really it. There's almost no inventory. It's a map.
It's more of an experience.
Yeah, it really is. It's more of an experience
with no dialogue, no puzzles, and about 10 screens that you go back and forth between.
You can, and you can change the time between daylight and night. However, you will run out of oxygen if you do that too many times.
So there is
planets.
Elements. So
yeah,
there's a game.
It is.
I wasn't really questioning that it wasn't a game, but that line is being blurred. So
yeah, it kind of was being blurred, but it is.
Well, really, what is a game?
Oh God.
I will say, if you're playing through it, check out the backgrounds. There's often some different, like, play through it a couple of times and try and hit different screens at different time of day. Because there's some interesting things that can happen depending on which day it is, as well as what oxygen tank based on my playing on it. And the whole game is ultimately one kind of minor mystery. It's not like I want to say things, but it's going to spoil it, and I
don't say it.
It seems like this game is mostly about story and ambience and music. Apparently,
Ambient
Music sounds
music
awesome, by the way.
and finding out what is, and that's what I'm going to have to leave that as, because anything more and it's going to ruin it. When you get to the ending, a lot of people, I was reading some reviews that were on Steam, and a lot of people were saying like they were super confused by it, and I don't know how you can have eyes open and oxygen flowing to your brain and not understand the ending.
well,
Like,
this is the internet, right?
That's good though. Like if the ending is simple enough that
A tard?
or like
My brother?
my cat could understand the ending and be like, okay, that happened. Like no one needs all this complicated crap going on. Back.
Was it like, okay, are we talking, because one thing, for instance, Donnie Darko, the movie,
No, this is
confused
not
the hell out of me.
This is not Donnie Darko levels of my. This is more Fraggle Rock.
Gotcha.
Like continuing the metaphor here, this is more Fraggle Rock and finding out that the Muppets are puppets. Like
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, it's the only way I could.
Man.
Am I the only one here that doesn't think that, like, I have nothing good to say about this game at all?
No, that's the part that I'm trying to get to. Like, it's not bad. It is not bad. It was
not worth $7.19.
I don't think so.
So I would say, well, the price point is.
It's a bit
so
much.
The price point is the only negative thing that you could say.
Outside of that,
That's
I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed overheating my computer to try and test out different things. Like going through the same environment during the day and during the night. There's, I can't ruin it. It's fun.
So big question: if the game was $4.99,
I would buy it in a heartbeat.
How about you, Casey? What would?
No, I will not spend $5 on 20 minutes.
Would you spend $4?
I would spend probably like $2.
$2? So
Yeah.
you would spend money on it, though.
What if it was $7.99 and it was the game and the soundtrack? Like, you haven't heard the soundtrack, so I know that's kind of putting you on the spot.
The music sounds awesome.
The music.
I haven't listened to the music. I am a big fan of I don't know. I haven't heard it. Is it kind of like classic retro music or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a way to.
It's not composed in the same style.
So it's not like MIDI, or it's
No, it's MIDI.
Okay.
Kind
Oh, it is MIDI. You're confusing the crap out of me. One of you saying it's MIDI, the other is.
It's in that style, but it's not MIDI.
Right.
MIDI.
It's not chiptune. It's very like on the border.
All right. Okay. How many? If you had to guess, how many tracks would be on that soundtrack? Is
I
it like a decent length?
I encountered at least 8 different tracks that I
Yeah. I would spend about $7 on an 8-track soundtrack.
So maybe the suggestion, Peter Moorehead, if you're listening to this, because of course you are, Peter Moorehead, is to combine those two, because the 20-minute, like as cool as your game is, 20 minutes, and I've actually harped on this, so I'm kind of like moving towards Casey's side. I've actually harped on this before about game content equals price. So because I mean, like, I harped on this about the Walking Dead before they went to like a full season pass type of deal, about 20 minutes is not worth that much. I mean, when you think about it, $7-8 is not that much money, but still, it's the principle of the matter that a 20-minute game.
It's when you think about all the things you could be spending that $7 on, all like the
Seven
AAA
McDoubles.
titles that are maybe on sale now, or maybe a little outdated, like full 40, 100-hour content games that you can get for like $7 or $8. Like, it's when you start comparing.
So
I would go with that. My recommendation to Peter would be blend them together. Like I would pay $10 for the two of them combined. I would have no problem with that.
How much replayability does this game have? Because you keep talking about how you like played through it twice, and you've been like done a lot of different stuff. I mean,
a lot of that was testing. Because
okay.
I'm a big fan of seeing if something changes based on something else. I do a lot of almost Q&A type testing when I play games. So most of that was me going back and forth between map screens to see what might have happened. Ultimately, Yeah, you could probably get 2 or 3 playthroughs out of it, maximum.
That's not bad.
That's assuming that you beat it in your first. You don't beat it in your, because I died my first game through. Like I got a game. I ran out of oxygen. Died.
Well, I think before we move on, I think the big thing is Peter Moorehead suggestion: put the soundtrack and the game in a bundle together on Steam, and then that would make it worth the $7 to $10 range, as you guys are saying. Yeah. So other than that, it's not the game is bad; it just lacks content for the amount of money that you're paying. It's a really good soundtrack for those of you listening out there. Their art, I think personally, the art's amazing. Really cool.
The art is really good. I can't comment on the coloration or anything like that. You know, being colorblind.
The color. I mean, think Mars with ancient temples. Like, it's. I know that doesn't mean anything to you, Rev, but for everyone else listening who's not color.
For everyone else that's listening that's not looking at this website or anything like that.
If you are looking at the website, they have a couple of screenshots up, and you're basically looking at a third of the game in that first 5 screenshots on the second page.
There's a video.
Yeah, there's a video too.
That's probably
I haven't watched the video, but so yeah, bundle it, and it would be fantastic for what it is. I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed finding out what the hell was going on and where people were and why I was alone. And beyond that, I'm not going to spoil it further.
So definitely worth it for you since you got it free out of the code. And speaking of free, free fun.
Segway.
Free fun is next.
All right, everybody, for this week's free fun, we have a game called Dead Cyborg. Now, there are actually 2 episodes to Dead Cyborg. There's Dead Cyborg 1 and Dead Cyborg Episode 2. Both games...
Attack of the Clones.
Basically.
Dead Cyborg, the cyborganing.
No, well, but each one gives you about 3 to 4 hours to... wow, it's my segment. I have to burp almost. Ooh. That feels nice.
I'm one drinking beer. What the hell?
Here we are interrupting you.
Exactly. 3 to 4 hours of gameplay for each one. They are 3D point and click, not point and click, but 3D puzzle adventure games where you go around, you try to solve puzzles, you try to, find things that are hidden, put things where they need to be, try to do crazy combinations of let's put this here and that there, or this doesn't work, or I need to figure out where this key is. I have no idea. I see this key. What does this button do? And it was a lot of trial and error. And the first time that I played through them, there were definitely points in time where I got stuck. But I just searched a little bit around that jogged my mind as to where I might want to click or check. And then the games are very, very fun, and the art style is really beautiful. Like, I was going through these levels, and the first one is very claustrophobic. You're in this enclosed bunker. You have no idea what's happened. You have no idea where you're going, and everything's a very narrow hallway. But it does such a good job of making you feel like this is some futuristic bunker that was made to simulate daylight. And that everything is something is not quite right, obviously. So you're the only thing that's alive that you can find. But it's just such a good job of creating this imagery. It's hard to explain unless you really see it. It's just everything's really good. Everything's modern.
It's good.
It's kind of like I don't know how to explain it because my brain just is attracted to that style because it's not hyper realistic.
It's kind of, I'm looking across some of the artwork right now, and it seems to evoke some similarity to a cross between steampunk and machinarium.
I was gonna say steampunk is just
yeah.
It's very steampunk, but it's also
sci-fi and
it's definitely more sci-fi than steampunk, but steampunk is technically sci-fi.
And a note on that too, this is actually it's free and it's donation based, so if you like it, give a donation to them, but it is also being it's already been greenlit on Steam, so it is on Steam if you Check it out.
And
So wait, I do have a question. It's all 3D. It's not like
it's all 3D.
Two-dimensional backgrounds that you could kind of move around in 3D space.
It is 100% first-person 3D.
Huh.
And there are a lot of things that are interactable. Like you wouldn't really think about it, but it just really works. Full mouse control too. WASD mouse. You can look around. You can't jump or anything, and I mean like there's no combat. But it's a puzzle game. So.
I have a question.
All right.
Is interactable a word?
If not, it is now.
Should be, yeah.
All right.
Interactive. It all works.
And if you guys are still unclear as to what whether you want to play this or not, on my YouTube channel, link in the description, I am actually currently Let's Playing this game. I will, however, preface that with, if you like the game, if you like what you see about the game, before you watch my videos, or while you're playing the game, play the game first before you watch them, because there are definite spoilers, and I go through the game relatively fast because I kind of know how it works. But yeah, enjoy the game yourself, and then have others enjoy it with you. It's like really good wine. You drink it yourself first, and then you let all your friends be like, "Oh yeah, this is good." Yeah, I have no idea why it's disappearing so fast.
My mind went someplace completely different, but that's okay.
To be fair, mine did too. I was just trying to steer it in somewhere clean.
All right.
For a PG-13 rating.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is everything for this episode. If you want to check out more episodes or stay tuned for newer episodes, you can subscribe to my channel where this show is hosted. That is youtube.com/JaShinYa Gaming, or you can search JaShinYa. That is JaShiNya. You can also follow us on Twitter, IGR Podcast, Facebook.com/IGR Podcast. We also have a subreddit, which is r/r/Indie Game Riot. That's where you can really have the deeper discussions. You can do it in the comments on YouTube and things like that, but Reddit's kind of a really good venue for that sort of stuff. Like we talked about with the greenlight bribery.
Controversy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So check out the Reddit there. It's a really cool community. Our website at the moment is igrpodcast.webs.com. That will eventually change. And of course, you can always just email directly to my emails, JaShinYaGaming@gmail.com.
And there's also a contact page on the website if you want to email. Actually, no, that just sends to your email, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just goes to my email.
Never mind.
Okay, so, but you can use that too if you want.
Speaking of the subreddit, I did want to make mention. We mentioned last episode that we were running a contest for a certain game key that came out, Lumina, that Tech did. Unfortunately, we had absolutely no rage quit stories.
Well, that's not
subreddit.
That's not the point. Actually, it was
the next part was they released it for free.
It's for free, so there's no point.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's available for Droid now.
Yeah, they just released their Droid version, so I'm probably gonna download it and
kind of cool.
See if I can fumble my colorblind ass through it. So
I think it's really cool that they released it for free. I didn't know they were going to do that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like them a lot better now.
So there's that. Any last thoughts, gentlemen?
Only that I'm glad that I didn't miss this one.
I remember.
You do?
Do you?
No, I really don't.
Oh,
so sorry.
And on that sad note, everyone say goodbye.
Have a good one.
See you guys around.
Later.
Cheers.
Literally, I tried to speak with my mouth full of liquid.
That's what she said.
Not seminal fluid.